Welcome to Shots of Inspiration. Today what I want to share with you is what we know about the science behind the aha moment, which to me is just such a fascinating moment. In fact, I think my fascination with people having these moments of inspiration really has created my career. I've always seen myself as having sort of problem-solving superpowers, and I take great pride in being able to solve problems in really creative ways for myself. And importantly, in my career, I basically spent my entire career helping other people to be creative, whether that's as a theatre director or as a group facilitator or when I'm working one-on-one with people. And so I suspect that I just have a natural tendency to be able to work in the zone of triggering the aha moment for myself and others. So I'm really interested in the science that we are gradually managing to unpack around what happens in the brain when someone has an aha moment. So I want you to just think for a moment of the brain as being very much something that likes patterns. It likes detecting patterns, it likes creating patterns, it likes living by patterns. And yet in moments when aha insights strike us, those are moments where patterns are totally blown apart and new associations are made. That, I don't think, is a coincidence, because it turns out when scientists have a look at people solving problems creatively, that the brain is in fact using gamma wave activity as the main style of processing, and that's absolutely associated with bringing parts of problems together and creating new ways of seeing or experiencing the world. So let's have a look at what actually happens there. Scientists have studied people solving problems for many decades. Recently, we've been able to record and monitor what's going on at a neurological level as people solve problems. And so it turns out that there's two main ways that we go about problem solving. One is to be structured, analytical and methodical, and the other is to rely on insight. And it's that second style which is associated with the aha moment and creativity. So that's the one that I'm going to be talking about right now. So what happens in that moment when someone has that burst of insight is that there is a burst of gamma wave activity in the right hemisphere of the brain. What does that mean? Well, gamma wave activity is associated with people being in the zone and having these profound experiences of change. The right hemisphere is responsible for bringing parts of problems together and creating synthesis. So what you get is this powerful blend of being in a flow state or a zone of change at the same time that you're opening up to new ways of perceiving the world or perceiving reality. Interestingly enough, just before that happens, there tends to be a very short, sharp burst of alpha band activity in the visual cortex. And what the scientists say about that is that that activity is associated with sort of dampening down your ability to take in information through the visual sense from the outside world. So you think about what we do often when we're about to have a new idea. We close our eyes, and that totally makes sense from the perspective of we're shutting down external stimulus so we can have what we literally call insights. We are able to see things differently inside of our own minds. Once that happens, of course, we find brilliant solutions to problems. We find new ways of doing things, and we create new ways of understanding our experience. So here's my take on this. I don't think it's a coincidence that techniques such as positive psychology and NLP create such profound experiences of aha solution finding. You look at the processes that we use. Many of them involve what are called eyes closed process. We are literally shutting out the external visual stimulus. Many of them are about working with and disrupting existent patterns and associations and getting people to come up with new ways of putting pieces of information together. And many of the processes that we use are reportedly triggers for people having these huge bursts of positive feelings, which incidentally positive psychologists are really interested in, and we focus our attention on trying to trigger for our clients. And then finally, of course, in NLP practice, we use trance induction. In positive psychology, we use mindfulness. And both of these techniques trigger meditative states. Well, it turns out that gamma brainwaves are very strongly associated with the feelings of blessings that monks report when they're in highly meditative states. And gamma brainwaves are also associated with profound changes to our thinking and profound changes to our behavior. So my hunch is that the techniques that we are using in these modalities are triggering or helping people to access this gamma brainwave state in a way that just brings out the best of our creative and aha thinking in the moment. So I hope that that's given you a little bit of insight into what's going on in your brain when you start to find brilliant solutions to problems. And I really do encourage you to explore using some of these techniques so that you can overcome whatever is going on in your life as a result of pandemic change and chaos right now, and start finding fantastic ways to build a better future. Find out more about boosting your confidence and resilience by enrolling in one of my workshops or coaching programs. Or if you're a practitioner, download my free ebook, The Positive Psychology Toolkit for HR and L&D practitioners. There's links for both those resources beneath this video.